In the midst of all the talent from the Norfolk area, including General Norman Johnson, stood the historic Attucks Theater. Despite the theater being shut down for most of these artists' careers, its resurgence in the new millennium provided an outlet for musicians and the community's youth. I was able to have a conversation with Gail Easley, the executive director of the Crispus Attucks Cultural Center, in which we discussed the theater's recent revitalization.
The Attucks Theater was the focal point for entertainment, business, as well as a variety of community activities. It was the vision of the Twin Cities Amusement Corporation to develop a cultural center and a theater in the heart of the African American community, because during that time we were not able to seek out services outside our own neighborhoods. And so they enlisted the services of a young architect, Harvey N. Johnson, who designed this beautiful facility, and they actually raised about 80% of the money. The other 20% was raised by going to the community and selling stock. Back in its heyday, some of the performers that graced the stage of the Attucks Theater were Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Mamie Smith, Louis Armstrong, Bessie Smith, just to name a few. And of course, our local talent, Ruth Brown, Portsmouth's own Ruth Brown, performed here, as well as Gary U.S. Bonds. It also was a place for graduation exercises for high schools. Churches had their services here, and it was well loved and utilized by the entire African American community. At the height of desegregation and urban renewal, individuals had opportunities to seek entertainment and housing elsewhere, and unfortunately that was the demise of Church Street and the Attucks Theater. So by the mid-1950s, the theater did close permanently, closed its doors permanently. It served as a men's clothing store, Stark and Legum. They sold the clothes out of the lobby. The theater served as a warehouse, and the federal urban renewal programs such as the Housing Act of 1949 promised cities around the country millions of dollars in government grants for the purpose of removing blighted conditions and preparing urban land for redevelopment. So Norfolk, as with many other cities, took full advantage of these federal urban renewal funds and began large-scale demolitions of broad swaths of downtown, including Church Street. Many of the citizens in the community saw that Church Street was going to meet the same fate as many of the historical buildings throughout Norfolk, and decided to come together as a group. This group was founded by Reverend Joseph N. Green Jr., who organized the Crispus Attucks Cultural Center to save the Attucks Theater. The Crispus Attucks Cultural Center raised funds, the city matched their funds, the state became involved, and in 15 years, $8 million was raised to restore the Attucks Theater. And the first shovel went into the ground in 2001, and the doors reopened in 2004. And 7 years later, we are here. The curtain is raised, and it's a beautiful venue for concerts, cultural enrichment, and education through the arts. The Attucks Theater is now known on the National Register of Historic Places and deemed by Congress as the oldest legitimate remaining theater in the entire country that was designed, constructed, operated, and financed by African Americans. Just as in the turn of the century, the Attucks Theater has brought world-class performers to the stage. We are also a wonderful place for cultural enrichment through the arts. We have an arts incubator here at the Attucks Theater, which houses resident artists who either are emerging or established and are looking to either start projects through the arts or to expand on those programs and projects in place. It's a great place for kids to come year-round. We've got an outstanding arts education program that features professional teaching artists in several disciplines such as theater, music, visual arts, technology, as well as filmmaking.
Now when I step on stage, I remember to pay tribute. I remember the blood, sweat, and tears that paved the way for me to be here. Because I remember when she and Daddy came to the Attucks. Hair was fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Conch cream was a Negro's dream. Big Mama's hot comb laid Mama's kitchen nice and long. Brown paper bags was used for curlers, and Moms and Pops chaperone every suitor. How I longed to see it, all as their brains remembered it, to hear the jazz in the moonlight, cars rolling over manhole covers, heels clicking to the time, ladies and gentlemen dressed to the nines. Now I open my eyes, and thank God that now is my time to shine on their already spent dime. Thank you.
Without the Attucks Theater, there would be a total loss of history and connection for our community to the Hampton Roads region and the legacy of the African American community. Once again, the Attucks Theater has become a beacon of cultural enrichment through the arts for Hampton Roads and beyond. It was known affectionately as the Apollo of the South. The legacy will continue through the Crispus Attucks Cultural Center and its wonderful partnership with the City of Norfolk in 7 venues, bringing world-class entertainment, not only for the immediate community, but also as a tourism catalyst to the region. We are connecting the past, the present, and the future by incorporating the arts for our youth and our local artists who are looking to develop their careers.